Welcome to the first televised debate.
First of all, I would like to say that Serbia is the worst country to exist, probably in the history of all countries.
I object!
As I was saying, welcome to the first televised debate between a Serbian and a Kosovo Albanian. On my left is Miss Serbia.
Hello, I am, of course, representing the best country in this debate. Thank you.
And on my right is...
No, Serbia is not the best country. It's run by cowards and clowns.
I object again!
Mr. Albania, Miss Serbia, if you would please just let me introduce you with no further remarks.
Yeah, whatever.
The first topic that we are going over is the ethnic tensions between the Serbian and the Kosovo Albanians. Miss Serbia, if you could respond to this topic first.
If I may butt in here, I have to say that the ethnic tensions are entirely the fault of Serbia because they have been repressing media and broadcasts in the Albanian language, among other things.
I would like to address the Kosovo Liberation Army and their initial sporadic attacks against the Serbian authorities. These attacks, of course, would lead to Serbian attacks and counterfights. You know, there is reason that the Kaley were deemed a terrorist group by the United States in '98.
Mr. Albania, you may now respond to the question.
Yeah, so the KLA is an amazing organization that has been supporting the rights and freedoms of us Albanians in Kosovo for the past several years. They have supported our original movement for independence, and they've been wrongly persecuted. Serbia has created this national sentiment against our brothers and sisters through propaganda, and has also begun.
Thank you for your responses to this topic. Our next topic will be the rising Albanian nationalism in Kosovo. Mr. Albania, you may respond first.
Albanian nationalism is necessary to fuel our independence movement. No revolution has come about by not loving your country, and ultimately that is what nationalism is all about. The KLA and similar organizations have been supporting our nationalism movement from the beginning. These brave men and women have created the foundation for the Kosovo Albanians to become independent.
Albania couldn't even manage their own fighting on their own. Had to get NATO involved. How lame. As a proud Serbian, though, I believe that Albanian nationalism is built around myths and just concepts. What is there to be proud of?
If we could move on to the next topic, we will be discussing the political causes of constitutional reforms. Ms. Serbia, your argument?
Where to begin? In 1989, Milosevic engineered changes in the Serbian constitution that vastly reduced the provincial autonomy Kosovo enjoyed since 1974. These measures and others put tens of thousands of Kosovo Albanians out of work and restricted the activities of their cultural organizations. Of course, the ungrateful Albanians began their typical rioting and protesting. The Albanians were embarrassing when they began to have secret elections, and the Albanians elected the joke, Ibrahim Rubovo, to facilitate a shadow government.
What Her Excellency is saying proves my point. We began rioting and fighting back because our independence was not granted, and they began to restrict our rights and freedoms. The political causes are clear because Milosevic only wants these changes so that he would be seen as a Serbian nationalist, which is how he survived the fall of communism in the first place and retained power. The political motivations are also caused by a lack of the international community to recognize Kosovo as an independent nation and the refusal of Serbia to grant our independence.
Once again, very well thought out arguments. Now, another topic that must be discussed is the repression of the Albanian independence campaign.
We were just looking for independence. Our peaceful attempts have yielded no results, so because of that, we have groups like the KLA and similar groups. They're the only things that have gained the attention of the international community regarding our fight for independence and against this ethnic cleansing.
Very nice response, Mr. Albania. Miss Serbia, how would you respond?
It made sense to not condone any independence movements by the Albanians. Strategically, the Serbian parliament dissolved the Kosovo Assembly and took measures to ban Albanian language, media, and broadcast. The media is no place for rebels like Albanians who don't understand what the Serbians can and have done for them. We only felt banning their media to be necessary due to a number of Albanian delegates meeting in the streets outside the assembly building, declaring Kosovo an independent republic as an equal independent entity with the framework of the Yugoslav Federation.
Now, we have time for one more topic. if the both of you could express your opinions on the role and significance of Slobodan Milosevic and Ibrahim Rugova.
Milosevic is a great leader because of his constitutional reform and his ability to lead the nation through the trouble with them Albanians. Rugova is a sorry excuse for a leader because he continued the KOA and had no regard for the Serbs who gave them what they have.
So, you're a terrible liar, first of all.
As if.
Second of all, Milosevic is a coward and he's the
Shut
scum
up,
of humanity.
man.
You know what? He's not just the scum of humanity, he's the scum of all the people in history who are scum.
I object
I mean,
again.
Rugova is somewhat inept at his attempts to gain independence, but I admire his leadership and his attempts to make a peaceful end to this conflict, although they were somewhat unfruitful.
This concludes our very combative and interesting debate. If you would please all thank Miss Serbia and Mr. Albania for their contributions to our topics.